If you've ever finished a 3-hour inspection in Lagos, you've taken this client to like 6-7 properties, and the client looks you in the eye and tells you, I'll get back to you, and then proceed to ghost you for the next 3 weeks. See, I'm here to tell you that it's not the price. It's not that the client changed his mind at the last minute. Everything that decides if you're going to make that sale or not happens before the inspection. I'm going to be sharing you the exact Google Map mistake that almost cost me everything, the $2 million car park rule of listening, and the 3 questions you must always ask after every inspection to make sure you close that deal. Let's get started with the absolute biggest mistake 99% of realtors make, which is giving the client the exact address. So most realtors, when a client make an inquiry, text you and talk about this property, and next they're like, oh, I want to come and check it out. Can you send me your address? You go and get a Google link of the address, send it to the client, and then you are wondering why you don't close those deals. Now let me give you an example. One of the things you have to make sure is whenever a client is visiting a property that you control the entire thing, especially how they get to the property. For instance, my house where I live in Ikoyi, it's close to 3 major locations. One, it's close to Alexandra Avenue. It's like 3 minutes from Alexandra. Alexandra Avenue is one of the richest locations in Nigeria, and it's also where Tinubu lives. It's very close to Afrediwani. Afrediwani is where you have Microsoft office, Oracle office, and all the big corporate companies. It's like maybe 3 minutes from there. Guess where it's also very close to? Obalende. It is 3 minutes from Obalende, the same house. Now imagine your client is coming to check out this property and it goes to Google Map, putting down your address. Google is going to recommend one of these 3 routes depending on where your client is coming from. Now imagine your client is coming from Obalende, the route where Obalende is the fastest route, because Google does not really care about your own house inspection. What it cares is optimizing for the fastest route to the location. So your client puts in that address in Google Map, the same house. Google directs him the fastest route through Obalende. Now he comes to check out this house in Ikoyi. What do you think the client is going to think if, after seeing all the Obalende chaos in the market, 3 minutes later he arrives at the property? What do you think the client should think about the property? He's going to think this property is close to Obalende. And throughout that inspection, no matter what you do, that client will never come past that whole thinking, because real estate is all about location. And to them, this house is not in Ikoyi, this house is close to Obalende. Now imagine you took a different route and you take this client through Alexandra Avenue and you pass Tinubu's house there and you show the client this is where Tinubu stays, and you show the client this is High Court, these are all the nice things, and this client comes straight to that. Do you believe that if you follow Alexandra, you will never know that that house is also close to Obalende? Same thing, if you come from Obalende, you will never know that that same house is close to Alexandra Avenue. So how the clients find that property is absolutely important. Now, if I was running that inspection, what would I do instead? So first thing is I choose a landmark close to the property that makes sense and has a good car park. So what will I do for this particular part? I will say, client, meet me at Pit Stop. If you know Pit Stop is a really nice place, I'll go to Pit Stop car park my car there and wait for the client. I will tip the security man like 2K, so he will let me just stay there while I wait for my client. Once my client comes, Pit Stop is close to the roundabout that leads to Lekki and Ikoyi. Once the client meets me there, very easy to find. I will either join the client in his car, or better, let the client join me in my car, so we will move together. And then one person will park their car in Pit Stop. Make sure you tip the security for this to work. Then from there, I take the client from Pit Stop and I drive to the same property, and I'll deliberately pass front of Tinubu's house. So I'll let the client know that you'll be living 3 minutes away from the president. Do you see how this makes sense? Versus the client coming there on his own and finding out he's going to be living 3 minutes away from Obalende. Completely different mindset, same house, same location. How you handle it just change everything. Now, one of the things you have to make sure is whatever properties you are selling, you have to have a fixed route to use in going to that property. So you have a landmark. That's why you have to know the area very well. You have the landmark you meet all your clients at. For so many properties in Surulere, I use Mr. Biggs, sometimes Tantalizer, depending. In that landmark, right, you now have to make sure that the route from your landmark to the property is a straight road. The fewer the turning, the better. Now, Google might recommend a shorter route that has a lot of turns. Do not use it. One of the things I've noticed with clients, and a lot of it, especially I've done more than 1,000 of them, is when you're on a straight road with few turns, even though there's traffic on that road, clients still think the place is close, versus when you follow the shorter route that has a lot of turning. So too many turnings make the place appear farther than it actually is, versus lesser turns. So pick the road that has few turning. Another one is you have to pick the road that has better road. So you have to compare this, make sure the road is good, then pick the one that also has nicer houses around it. So before the client gets to the property, he's seeing all the nice place, nice place. And you must make sure that you point out the things you want the client to notice. So for instance, you are doing inspection in Surulere, you want the client to notice the 2 stadiums. You want the client to notice ShopRite. You want the client to notice major landmark that you want them to. If you are doing inspection in this property in Ikoyi, you want the client to notice the Lekki Ikoyi link bridge. Oh, easy access to Lekki. You want the client to notice Tinubu's house, even though there's really nothing to see there. Just let them know. This is where Tinubu stays, so it's close to where you stay. It's a thing that will make them feel good that they are buying a good property. You want them to see all the things that will make them feel like that property is in the best location possible. And if you control this very well, by the time the client is coming to the property, the client is already pre-sold before you guys even start talking about that particular property. Once you get the property, another big mistake a lot of realtors make is they talk too much. They start trying to pitch the client on the property. Oh, look at this house. It looks like this. It looks like that. Can you check out the kitchen? And one thing we do is we assume we know what the client wants, when in fact we don't. Now, you might enter that house and to you, the kitchen is the finest feature in the house. But to the client, he's excited about the staircase. You will not believe what people actually like. I remember I went for one inspection. I took a client to check out a property in Surulere. And this woman was like, oh my God, I love this area. It is so rowdy. I like that when I wake up, there's going to be a mosque making noise on the side. Like I'm giving you her exact words. And then when I come outside, there are people just gathered around the gate. People that I can greet. Oh my God, it's so different from where I live in the UK. I grew up in an environment like this. I miss it. I want a place that has chaos. I was like, what? Like it's completely opposite from what you think people would want. So do not assume you know the client until you've asked them and found out what they actually want. Don't assume. So what do is you ask questions. You ask questions and you listen. You listen to find out what does this person actually want. Now your job as a realtor is not to pitch or sell them any property. It's actually to find out what they want and help them get the best thing in the market closest to what they want. A lot of times what they want might not be realistic. You shape their thinking to make sure they make it realistic and you get them something that will fit what they want best. That's your job. And the only way you can know this is by asking questions. Now, for me, I have 15 strategic questions that I ask during inspection. I have a whole list. I'll be giving you at the end of this video the exact 15 questions I ask. Now, you're not going to go through all 15 questions one by one like a robot. You probably just ask like 3 or 5 and then you listen attentively to the answers. Like one of the questions is, oh, why did you pick this location? So let's say you're checking out a property in Yaba. Oh, is there a particular reason you picked Yaba as where you want to buy a property? And they will tell you, oh no, I did not really pick Yaba. Anywhere is fine. Oh, so what's the main thing you're looking to get? Oh, I'm looking for a place that has XYZ. I'm looking for a place that has this. And guess what? You listen and you ask follow-up questions. Let me give you an example. A client says the reason I picked Surulere is because I want to be close to my family and I want to be close to my work. Guess the next logical question you ask. Where do you work? Why? So you can find other property closer to the place. Oh, I work on the island. Blah, 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 blah. Now you know the person's priority is somewhere close to the island. Oh, why did you go for the island instead? Say, island pass my money. So I want somewhere on the mainland because I also go to church on the mainland. You see how you are beginning to map out the client's life in your mind. And now you know exactly what to give. Because the property you might be showing the client might not actually be the property that will fit them best. But by the time you start asking these questions, you keep forming this mental map in your brain about what they want and what kind of property will actually fit it. Now, if you check those 15 questions, you'll be able to tweak it to fit your industry, the kind of properties you sell. Maybe you sell land, maybe you sell luxury apartments in Koyi. You can tweak it to fit what your customers normally ask, or what will help you discover what your customers want. There was this reference, Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, where he was talking about a particular realtor that whenever he closes a deal, he'll be like, oh, I just sold a $2 million car park. I just sold a $5 million kitchen. What is he referring to? The main thing that made the client buy. You'll be shocked what actually gets people. Someone might buy a $2 million house all because he has 3 car park space. Like, that was the main reason. And if you check, you too, you have your favorite place in your house. There's a main reason why I buy my house or got my house. There's a particular thing I like about it. For other people, they might like something. Like me and my wife in the same house, we like 2 different things in the house. Today I met her and I'm like, wow, it's like we live 2 different lives. Me, I'm mostly in the office. I like the office. I spend most of my time in the office. She spends most of her time in the room. She has designed the room to fit what she wants. The same people, different things. So you need to find out what does your client want, so you can put what they want to match what your property is. If those 2 do not match, you cannot close a sale. Once you find out what they want, it changes from you trying to force them to buy something to you helping them with a solution to their problem. They will be grateful they even bought from you, because it will be exactly what they want. One important thing people do when asking questions and listening is they do not pay attention to body language. Or worse, when they even do pay attention, they do not do anything about it. I remember one particular deal I lost like 2 years ago. See, even as an expert, I still make this mistake. The client came, saw the property, loved it. He even showed me his bank balance. He had over 40-something million in one account, and he's like, oh, he has another money. We were that close. He was showing me his app. He was like, I'll bring my wife. My wife should come and check it. The wife came. Guess what? The wife did not like it. But you could see it all over her body that she did not like it. And instead of me to actually ask, ma, it seems like you don't like this property. Is there a problem? Guess what I did? I did not say anything. And they left. And they said, oh, right, I'll get back to you. Guess who they did not get back to? Me. Now, it's very important that when you're taking them to see, you're not just listening to them, you're also watching their body language. If you think they don't like it, actually call it out. It's the best technique I've seen. Say, oh, ma, it's like you not like this property. Guess what they'll say? They will either go, oh, I like it too. The place is nice. Oh, what do you really like? What do you like about the property? Now you actually give them an opportunity to defend the property and explain how much they like it. Or they will go, oh, actually I don't like it. Then you can ask, oh, why don't you like it? And you get actual feedback. They might say, oh, I don't like the streets. I don't like the area. Or I don't like that the room is really dark. And sometimes these objections are objections that you can easily answer. I don't like the room, why the room is actually dark. And it turns out you might have another room that is brighter. You might have another apartment that is better. You might have a property in a different location that you can show them. Because the idea is to get that feedback. If they leave without telling you why exactly they don't like or like the property, you will not be able to close any deal with those people. So when you see their body language is very negative, call it out, ask questions, get them to say it. Because most people, what they do when they don't like something, they keep it to their chest and they just tell you, I'll get back to you. Your job is to make sure you get that thing out of their chest to their mouth so you can hear it and give them a solution. I remember one particular time I took a client for inspection and the client eventually bought. Another realtor in the team came to me. I was like, hey, this client, I took it for inspection. He didn't say anything about liking this other project. And I'm like, well, you probably did not ask. Same client had it by 2 people. I asked to find out that this is what they are looking for. I gave them a different property. And the other person was like, oh, I also had this property, but I did not know he liked that property. If you ask questions, if you follow their body language, you'll be able to see the truth and probe it. Don't be shy. See, don't be shy. They're going to ghost you already. Let me tell you, they're going to ghost you. You might as well ask your questions. They will not beat you. It's the ghosting is the worst thing they will do. Yes, they will ghost you, right? But instead, call them out on it and then get them to say what it is they don't like about the property. Now, the next thing is this particular one, right? If you don't do anything I've said so far, if you do this one, you have a better chance than somebody else who did every other thing and missed this one. And this is closing. I can't tell you how many times people will do inspection and come back and be like, oh my god, the client likes it, and I'll be like, when are they paying? Say, I don't know. They say they will get back to me. How did you let that person that likes that property leave without committing, without you asking them about payment? They left their house because they want to buy property. Let me remind you, they left their house because they want to buy property. You left your house because you want to sell property. Both of you have the same goal. So don't be shy to ask them for the money. Now, one thing I notice is why a lot of people avoid conversation around closing is because they don't know what to say. And they don't want to get too pushy. They don't want to feel like they are forcing themselves on the client. And it's very easy. There are 3 questions that you would ask that will make it very seamless for you to close. The first question is you need to confirm what they are buying. And you ask questions like, are you getting a studio or a 1-bedroom? Oh, are you getting 2 apartments or you want to do 3? Are you getting a 3-bedroom duplex? Maybe you see that they like 2 properties based on this picture. Then you ask them, oh, do you want to get this one or this one? You are forcing them to make a decision. And if they say, oh, I'm not really sure. Oh, what do you like about this one? What do you like? Which one is more important? Your job is to help them decide. Because if you don't help them decide, that means they are with you and you are making eye contact. When they leave, it becomes a gamble because they are going to talk to their other family members, all their friends. Those ones are going to confuse them even further and show them. But if you allow them make a decision here and there, they go home with certainty, and what you'll be discussing is when are you transferring the money. So the first question is confirming what they are buying. The second question is when are they buying? So when are you looking to get this property? When are you looking to make a commitment on this? So when are you looking to, what you need is, or are you going to, do you think it's something you can do before the end of the month? You are doing this to confirm how long is this person going to take to close this deal. And also framing their mindset, because if they tell me, like for me, the max I do is 2 weeks. So if you tell me anything longer than a week or 2 or 10 days, right, I'll find a reason to bring you closer 10 days. Like now, when are you looking to get this property and you're like, oh, in 3 months time, like, this property will not be there in 3 months. Oh, is this something you can do now? Or I'll ask you, why do you want to do it in 3 months? So I can understand what the constraint is, right? So you need to know when. So once you know what they are buying, you need to know when they are buying. And the last one is the price. And how you ask question about the prices, my go-to move is always, do you want to pay now or you would like to use a payment plan? Would you like to pay once or you want to use a payment plan? There are different variations of this question. Coin your own. Once you guys enter this conversation and you agree, guess what? You've agreed when they are going to pay, what they are paying for, and how much they are going to pay. Guess what? You have a deal. All you have to now follow up is the transfer, which is way easier than maybe following up on if they are even going to buy at all. So make sure that every inspection you do, you close. If it feels like they don't even like the property, right? If you still close. If you're trying to close and they are not giving you a direct answer, maybe they don't really like the property. Maybe there's an issue they've not brought up. Probe. Keep asking questions till they say it. If they leave that your front where you are seeing them, that's it. Oh, they are gone. Not sure if you do again. They will not pick your call. They will not pick your call. They will not answer. You will text and tire. You will call and tire. So as they are in your front, hold them tight and get them to say as much as possible so you can understand exactly what they want and be able to give them what they want and close that deal before they leave your front. Now, if you like this video and you've learned a lot from all the things I've said so far, I did a full guide. I call it the ultimate inspection guide, where I cover all the 15 questions, the closing questions, and how to run a successful inspection. Click the link below to get a copy of this guide. It's going to change the game for you. Once you start implementing this, you realize that you can close more deals from your inspections than before. I remain Bright Okereke. I'll see you on the next episode.